Welcome to the What a Play podcast. I'm your host, Jacob. Lucas could not be here this week because he had prior commitments. So for the third week in a row, I'm going solo. But I did have him send in his thoughts for the week 2 matchup from the Patriots and the Miami Dolphins in Miami. He was very impressed with this Patriots offense, Drake May especially. Drake May was 19 to 23 for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Anytime you have a player, a quarterback especially, who's that efficient, only 4 incompletions, doesn't turn the ball over, and the rushing offense has over 100 yards, you're going to win a lot of ball games. That's how you're going to win. Who cares where the 100 yards rushing comes from? Just go and get it. Stevenson led the way with 54 yards rushing. Drake May had 31 yards on 10 carries. They did a lot of positive things. Kayshon Boutte was the one player who caught a touchdown pass. One of the 2 players who caught a touchdown pass from Drake May. He only had 1 catch. That was the touchdown. That was it. So I'm a little concerned about that, but too many passing yards given up by this Patriots team. They got to be better on that front. But their run defense was really good. They only gave up 61 yards rushing. Tua had 315 yards passing. He was very efficient. He did go 1 interception. So if you're Tua, you have to be better. But in terms of not turning the ball over, but you did a good job passing the ball. Again, the Patriots won this game 33-27. You did enough if you're the Patriots. But you gotta have passing defense at some point. Because the Dolphins are bad, and I've said that before. I think there's a lot of problems with the Dolphins. I think they're in trouble, and they gotta figure out how to fix it right away. This Patriots team won this game. They did a great job offensively. To me, Drake May is the star of this game. He won this game. Their run defense was good. Some penalties, still a lot of penalties. You got to work through those kinks. But they did a good offensively. Just got to fix the passing defense. But otherwise, a great showing by them. I thought the coaching staff did well. I thought when you score 30 points a game, that's important. They scored 30. You're going to win a lot of ball games if you do that. So great showing by the Patriots. A great win. Drake May was the star of the game. The run game was good. On offense, the run defense was good. The offensive line needs to avoid some of these penalties, though. Got to be more efficient on that front. You can't have Drake May and this offense constantly be behind the 8 ball. Doesn't work that way. You got to be more efficient. And also, if you got teams like the Dolphins who are struggling, you can't give them an advantage. You can't you gotta just go and keep going and keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting and to end this game, try to get out of there with a W, and that's what they did. But too many times there was bad play, passing, too many penalties that they should have avoided. They gotta keep that. And you'll notice during this series, I'll talk about the penalties a lot. It's not just, even if you had 5 penalties, it's still too many. You gotta be better. It's one of those things of 1 penalty is too many. You can't do that. You have to be better. You always have to be better. But I think Babel did a good job. I think his coaching staff did a good job. You did enough positive things to win this game. Now you go against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Foxborough. In that game, you're going to have to be really good because the Steelers' passing offense is going to have to be much better than they were against the Seahawks. They were on offense. They had that bad kickoff play where Caleb Johnson lets the ball go into the end zone. It's a live ball. Seahawks recover. It's a touchdown for the Seahawks. I think what happened was Caleb Johnson thought that if I don't touch the ball, it'll be a touchback. But that's not how it works. You have to declare that you're not going for the ball, and then if it goes into the end zone, it's a touchback. But he didn't. So what happens is it's a live ball. Great job by the Seahawks to get on top of it. But you're asking Caleb Johnson, who if I remember correctly, didn't do it in college. So you're asking someone who didn't do this in college to do it in the pros. It's really hard. I could also see the mix-up would be the punt return. You don't have to touch the ball. Even if the opposing team who punted the ball away touches the ball, if the punt return team does not touch the ball, it's that punt return team's ball wherever it was touched by the opposing team. That's how you know it's a live ball or if it's a dead ball. On kickoff, it's not the same thing. So I think that's where Caleb Johnson was mixed up. And that does happen from time to time. But there was that side of it. Really, the biggest concern I have is this Steelers defense. They're not good against the run. They really played bad against the Seahawks in that department. The passing defense got shredded. They don't play together very well, and that's concerning. And I game, honestly, I do. I know they're getting plus. They're going to show a lot of good teams here. That the Patriots are back. Oh, they have this kind of mindset now of let's go attack. Let's go bring this game together. Let's be aggressive. Let's have this mindset. And that's what they did. And I think they will. I have them beating the Steelers 28-20, but really it's going to be close to 28-14 the entire rest of the way. For the Cowboys, when they played the Giants, dear God, was that bad at the fourth quarter. 41 points in total in the fourth quarter alone. That passing offensive, the Giants, 450 yards for Russell Wilson, over 300 yards for Dak Prescott. They did some positive things on both sides, but their defenses were bad. Let's bring you to the last minute of the fourth quarter. Cowboys are driving down the field. With 52 seconds, they score a touchdown. They're winning the game 34-30. All they have to do is not let the Giants score a touchdown. A field goal does nothing. And if that happens, the Cowboys win this game. Giants get a big run from Russell Wilson that puts a bomb to Malik Neighbors for a touchdown. How does that happen? Well, the Cowboys bring cover 3 the whole game. And they weren't good at it in this game. What happened was, on a cover 3, normally what happens is you have a safety that will roll down. So he's about 10 yards already when he's lined up. He'll roll down to about the first down line. You have another safety who will go back to the center of the field and play the middle. Then the two corners will play the deep ends on the left. So that's how you cover on a cover. That's what cover 3 technically means. So basically, anything in the middle, this safety who was ever in the middle has to get. Anything on the left or right, those corners have to get. But the whole goal of this is so you don't get beat deep. That's the entire goal. These safeties and corners got beat so bad during the game because they kept running this cover 3, and the corner would get beat to the middle, and the safety wouldn't cover to the middle. So they're not helping each other out. It happened to Trayvon Diggs a couple times. It happened to Kyrie Elam a couple times. On the play of Neighbors, that was on Kyrie Elam. He got beat. And that was so unfortunate. I mean, you say, yes, he got beat kind of to the middle, but he was more on the line of the right hand side. So there you go. But yes, the linebacker or the safety or whomever is back there, sometimes they put a linebacker back there. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you do. And most of the time, it's a safety, sometimes even an extra corner. What happens is normally that safety is supposed to take that top side anyway, but he didn't. So what happened, he didn't come over to help. So it put Kyrie Elam on an island, and Malik Neighbors won that matchup. So now the game's 37-34, 25 seconds on the clock. Dallas needs, and they get off the yard line. There's 3 seconds. They send out their kicker, Brendan Aubrey. It's a 64-yard kick. Thank God they had John Bones Fossil prior to this when they signed Brandon Aubrey, because Aubrey has the ability to kick from a long distance. And that's what Bones Fossil always wants his kickers to be able to do. So they send Aubrey out there, and he drills this 64-yarder. This was like a driver in goal. He just drills this thing. It's just boom. And it was like going, and gets in there. I mean, probably good from 7. And then they get both off tie out. The new rules in overtime, you get 1 10-minute period, but if one team scores the touchdown on their first drive, the opposing team can go down the field and give it and try to score a touchdown. If they do that, then it goes to sudden death, similar to the playoffs. Neither team could do anything on their first drives. The Giants nearly fumble on their first drive because Russell Wilson throws a backward pass that gets pushed out of bounds at the end, thankfully. Dallas can't do anything on their second drive. Giant on their second drive, their second down play. Russell Wilson, there's pressure. He kind of throws it into the middle of the field, thinking Malik Nabers will make a great play. It gets intercepted by Donovan Wilson, which I said this on NFL World for the YouTube channel on Tuesday, I should say. It was like Angels in the Outfield. Has anyone watched that movie? It was a movie in the late 80s and 90s. It was called Angels in the Outfield. It was similar to that. This ball landed. Donovan Wilson jumps up. He got beat all day. He jumps up, intercepts the ball. Cowboys just need about 30 yards to make this a realistic field goal. Not even a field goal from Aubrey's range, just a realistic field goal. And they get a 27-yard catch from George Pickens with a great game. Dak Prescott had a 14-yard run, making this a 46-yard catch. They call timeout with 3 seconds left to go in the overtime. Out trots Brandon Aubrey again from 46. He drills it. Cowboys win the game 40-37. When I'm telling you I had a heart attack near the fourth quarter in overtime, I'm serious. I nearly did. Terrible. It was awful. This defense was not good enough. The secondary got shredded. The run defense was actually pretty good the entire game. But they got shredded in passing defense. You can't be that bad. You cannot be that bad. You can't be that bad. The offense is the reason you stayed in the game. My star of the game, if I could give it to the entire offense and also include Brandon Aubrey in that, I would. But I'm going to give it to Dak because you wouldn't be in that game at all if Dak Prescott wasn't helping you in that game. Everything he did, he got you into 2 touchdowns. Yes, he threw the interception, which we could talk about that later. I don't really think it was an interception. It rolled on the ground. I mean, what do you want the guy to do? I know the hands were underneath it, but when you see it close and you can zoom in, you see the ball kind of, his hands go like up a little bit and the ball starts to roll on the ground. I don't know how you said that's possession, but I digress. He got you in the field goal to get you even into overtime, to give Aubrey that chance to bring you into overtime. You don't have that if Dak is not playing the way he did. So Dak is my star of the game, but I really would give it to, I could give it to Javonte Williams, who had almost 100 yards. He had a great game. Brandon Aubrey, I could give it to for making those big time kicks. CeeDee Lamb had 100 yards. George Pickens had almost 70 yards. He was good. Like, this entire offense did a great job. and even Brandon Aubrey did a good job. But I'm going to give it for now. We'll see what happens if that will be a contributing factor because it might go to somebody else. Who knows? If they have a similar game like this and still the offense finds a way to win a game for them, it would go to a CeeDee Lamb. It might go to George Pickens. It might go to someone else. Who knows? Now the Cowboys go up to Chicago, to Soldier Field, to face off against the Chicago Bears. This game is going to be one of those weird games. I can feel it in my bones. The Bears, the last two times that we've seen them, they played Minnesota. They gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. We saw the game against Detroit. They got blown out. They lost by 31, should have lost by 38. But they got blown out. Enough. This game, if Ben Johnson's licking his chops to go against this passing defense. But the thing is, the Bears passing defense isn't much better. Jalen Johnson's injured. He's out for an indefinite amount of time, maybe even the whole year. Jordan Schultz said he could be out for the whole year. They have three other corners or three other defensive backs are all injured. Who knows if they play? They have linebacker that's injured. They have defensive linemen that are injured. They have a lot of injuries. That could really affect them on their defensive side. So as much as I said about Johnson, the Chicago Bears defensive coach, Chicago Bears offensive head coach is what he's doing. You can say the same thing about what Ron Schottenheimer is doing. And it's doing the same thing. So it works back and forth. I think whatever defense can find a way to get stops at opportune times will win this game. And I know that's very okay, that makes duh, hello. But yes, I'm being serious. And I think I just trust the Cowboys do that more likely over the Bears because we haven't seen the Bears do it. Yeah, so I'll say the Cowboys get that side of it. And I think the Cowboys offense is better. And plus with the cornerbacks that could be all injured for the Bears, I got the Cowboys winning this. I said on the NFL World Show on Wednesday, I said the Cowboys would win by 7. I'm actually going to put it up to 10, 38-28, because I just don't see how this defense of the Bears is going to be able to keep up. Not at this point. I don't think they're good enough. But I think it's going back and forth. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a big day. I think Dak Prescott's going to have a big day. They got to find a way. The Cowboy defense does, and even the Bears defense has to find a way to slow down this passing attack. I will say this, though. I think it's going to be harder to stop the Cowboys passing attack than the Giants and the Bears passing attack doing. That's what the Bears are looking at. The Cowboys said, okay, we played terrible against the Giants. Maybe that's different. Or maybe our defense is just that bad. But if the offense can put up points, something the Bears, they can't stop the run. We saw that last week. They can't stop the pass. We saw that last week. Jared Goff was nearly perfect there. He had 5 touchdowns. The run game had over 100 yards. That offensive line dominated the Bears' defensive line. If Dallas can do that, with even the injuries, I know they don't have Cooper Beebe, it's Brock Hoffman that is going to be your starting center for you. I do get that, but I think that Cowboys offense is still too much. It's still too powerful against this Bears defensive line. I got the Cowboys winning 38-28. But I just think right now the Cowboys are better. And then hopefully the Cowboys go to 2-1 before the Sunday Night Football match against the Green Bay. Who you have winning this week and what for NFL World and for the What a Play podcast, I'm Jacob Hebert. Out.